Pokemon Champions is finally here.
And Overwatch is adding another DPS hero to mix up the meta. The Denton download starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Marty Bratcher.
And I'm Christian Bursuch. After a year of waiting, Pokemon Champions has finally launched on Nintendo Switch consoles, and fans are quite unhappy with how the game is launched. Marketed as the premier battle simulator for the franchise, the game released with major performance issues, even on the Nintendo Switch 2. Only 185 usable Pokemon and many crucial battle items missing from the game as well. For fans of single battles, it gets even worse. The format present in Pokemon Champions isn't even the battle format that's been used for years on Pokemon Showdown. Many fans on the internet are making it clear that the way Pokemon Champions launched is unacceptable. Pokemon like Dondozo and Ursaluna that were present in the game's trailers are now nowhere to be found in the game. Game Freak and Ilka have made it known that there will be more content added over time in Pokemon Champions, but launching the game without crucial battle items was an interesting choice, to say the least. More Pokemon and items are expected to come to Champions when Regulation MA ends on June 17th.
It's a little weird that they're having to wait over like 2 months for some content that was in the trailers for the game.
Absolutely. Even Dynamax as a whole was in the trailer. Terrestrialization, my fault, but not anywhere to be found in the game. The symbol isn't even in the game anymore. It's looking bad for Pokemon Champions.
Well, hopefully that update raises people's morale or something. In other Pokemon news, the winner of the Orlando Pokemon Go Championship was stripped of his title after his celebration was ruled as unsportsmanlike. Farstyre73 celebrated his win by taking off his headphones, putting them on the desk, and standing up to do a fist bump. Afterwards, he shook hands with his opponent, Nighttime Clasher. After the championship was over, it was clear that Nighttime Clasher received the champion title instead. The Pokemon Go community is calling for the decision to be overturned online. The Pokemon Company has not made a statement on the incident. Farstyre73 thanked his fans for their support on X and said an interview revealing his side of the story will be coming out soon.
How do they strip a championship because of unsportsmanlike conduct? That's crazy.
And if you watch the video, it doesn't really, he's just celebrating. It's not
He's just excited to win, yeah.
Yes. And then he shook his hand after. It seemed very amicable.
Ever since the fall and rise of No Man's Sky, tons of updates have been added to make the game more appealing to audiences. With their new update, Xeno Arena, which feels more catered to Pokemon's audience, the new update will let you collect more creatures to build your team, with each creature having their own set of abilities and moves to determine their power in the arena. And with each victory, players will have the chance to fight tougher opponents along the way. It really feels like Power World had an impact on this industry. I feel like Pokemon, yes, but I feel like it's more of a copy to Power World because they kind of hopped in and were able to do it.
Yeah. Well, in other news, Overwatch has unveiled its next hero, and she is a DPS named Sierra. In the new animated trailer set on Watchpoint Grand Mesa, Sierra shows off her kit when she intercepts another Overwatch newcomer, Emery, who is recovering an unspecified asset. We get a glimpse of her full auto energy rifle and her drone, Dorothy, which she can tether herself to move around the battlefield quickly. Sierra's rifle can also fire what appears to be a targeting dart that we see her fire at Emery, with the projectile lodging itself in his armor. Her rifle fires, then changes course and rains down on Emery's position. Ultimately, the dart explodes, taking Emery down. Sierra is slated to join Overwatch with the launch of Season 2, which will begin on April 14th. Alongside the launch of a native Switch 2 version. Blizzard relaunched Overwatch in February, dropping the 2 from the game's title and adding 5 new heroes to the roster: Domina, Onron, Emery, Jetpack Cat, and Mizuki. Blizzard plans to add a total of 10 new heroes to the game in 2026. That includes Sierra. And in more Overwatch news, one of Overwatch's newest heroes, Onron, is getting a rework, but it's not her kit that's being changed. Onron is getting a makeover. The devs explained that her look didn't land as they would have liked, a point that many Overwatch fans agreed with online. They gave her a more confident look to match her personality and previous appearances. Also, the devs pointed out that the makeover gave Onron a closer resemblance to her in-game brother, Wu Yong.
Why did I not know Woo Young and Onran were brothers? But no, I think that the looks, the changes are really good to Onran.
Yes.
Like people did point out that in her cinematic, she looked so different than the player model we actually got. So I think it's a good change. The Invincible Versus beta will run from April 9th to 11th on Xbox Series X and PS5, with 10 characters, including Invincible, Omni-Man, Adam Eve, and Alan the Alien. The game, which releases on April 30th, is looking to draw in some new players with the open beta, as well as get some last-minute feedback about the balancing of fighters in the game. The Invincible franchise is in full swing right now, with Season 4 on Amazon receiving stellar reviews, while Invincible Versus looks to take the fighting game scene by storm.
A new free browser game is making waves with children across the US, and it has parents and teachers concerned. The game is called Five Nights at Epstein's, referring to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The game got more attention once teachers discovered their students playing the game in class on school-issued computers. In the game, the players are trapped victims on Epstein's infamous Epstein Island. To survive the 5 nights, players use security cameras to pinpoint Epstein's location. After finding him, they can lure Epstein away from their location by playing recordings of children's voices in a different direction. A report by NPR discussed how playing games like Five Nights at Epstein's can be just as harmful as real-life experiences for children by desensitizing them to some horrific and violent illegal behavior, and by dehumanizing victims of sexual crimes.
The game takes inspirations from the well-known point-and-click horror video game series Five Nights at Freddy's, which first released in 2014. In Five Nights at Freddy's, players play as a security guard in a Chuck E. Cheese-like pizzeria, and they must survive 5 nights without being attacked by possessed animatronics. Five Nights at Epstein's is not necessarily a new idea. Fans of Five Nights at Freddy's has made spin-offs for the game for years, including more sinister creations similar to Five Nights at Epstein's. Another iteration, called Five Nights at Diddy's, was popular around the time of the Sean Combs trial in 2025.
After years of delays and waiting, fans of Matt Reeves' The Batman finally have something to be excited about, as Scarlett Johansson and Sebastian Stan have officially joined the cast of the film, joining stars such as Robert Pattinson, Andy Serkis, and Colin Farrell. The Batman 2 will begin filming in June, continuing the DC franchise that stands independently from the DCU, dubbed the Reevesverse by fans. While we aren't yet sure who Scarlett Johansson will be playing in the film, Sebastian Stan joins the cast as iconic Batman villain Two-Face. Robert Pattinson promises fans have never seen a superhero movie like The Batman 2.
Scarlett Johansson and Robert Pattinson?
Yes.
They're getting a lot of Marvel stars in this DC movie,
Yes.
you think?
I think after Sebastian Stan has definitely been branching out in movies he's done. I think he did the Trump movie.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how he'll take this one on.
Yeah, the Trump movie, I think it was, what's it called, American something. Really good movie, honestly, though. Sebastian Stan was great in it. So I'm excited to see him in any movie. I think that Scarlett Johansson, too. Both phenomenal actors, and I'm excited. But the 5th and final season of The Boys premieres on Amazon Prime Video today. The season starts with a 2-episode premiere, followed by weekly releases for a total of 8 episodes, ending on May 20th. The final season of the wildly successful Prime series promises a dramatic conclusion to the conflict against Homelander. The premiere of The Boys Season 5 marks the beginning of an amazing month for superhero fans, as we now have episodes of Daredevil Born Again, Invincible, and The Boys weekly until Invincible Season 4 ends on April 22nd. Invincible Season 4 Episode 6 and Daredevil Born Again Season 2 Episode 4 are now streaming on Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, respectively.
Console players can now enjoy the online co-op horror game Content Warning. The game is now available on Xbox, Nintendo Switch 2, and PS5. Console players can also play with their PC friends through crossplay. Content Warning came out on April Fool's Day in 2024. It was free for 24 hours after its release. In the game, players film encounters with monsters. The goal is to post videos which go viral in-game. The scarier, the better.
Yeah, I claimed Content Warning on April Fool's Day 2 years ago, and I haven't thought twice about it since. I think it's kind of too little too late for the game to come on consoles, but who knows, maybe it gives it like a second wind of life.
I think kind of I was kind of the opposite. I missed out. I was so disappointed. I heard about it afterwards, and I saw people playing it for like the next few weeks, feeling a little left out, and then it kind of faded. So didn't really feel much after, but maybe this will revive it a little bit.
Yeah. In a recent episode of the Insider Gaming podcast, it was revealed that Naughty Dog, the studio behind the Uncharted series, had created early plans for a future Uncharted game before the COVID-19 pandemic began. However, no further details about those plans have since emerged. Although Naughty Dog has never officially confirmed the project, fans of the series took to Reddit to express their excitement and frustration. One user commented, "Are you telling me COVID robbed us out of an Uncharted game?" Naughty Dog is currently focused on its upcoming new IP, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. As a result, it does not appear that Uncharted 5, or any new Uncharted title, will be released anytime soon.
I think that person definitely had it a little right when they said they got robbed. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Plants vs. Zombies 3 has been soft-launched yet again in certain countries as part of the game's latest attempt to take root. Hopefully, the third time is the charm for PopCap, as the studio has attempted to release 3 games titled Plants vs. Zombies 3, with this latest iteration focused on new gameplay that allows players to merge different plant species. It also arrives with a new subtitle to separate itself from past iterations, Plants vs. Zombies 3 Evolved. PopCap began development on Plants vs. Zombies 3 all the way back in 2016, but the initial release, which featured 3D graphics, was quickly scrapped back in 2020. The second iteration, Plants vs. Zombies 3 Welcome to Zomburbia, was released in 2024. Although the game was closer to a traditional game than the first iteration, EA took the game offline in late 2024 to give it a major overhaul. Today, Evolved is now available to download on iPhone and Android devices in Ireland and the Philippines, before a wider rollout begins in the UK and Singapore over the next couple of months.
It's been a rough patch for Plants vs. Zombies over the past few years, and I wasn't even aware of it, to be honest. I played like the first 2. I didn't even know there was a third one, but I guess that's why.
Memories of playing it like on the computers in like the Sam's Club. That's like what I most remember about Plants vs. Zombies. It was so fun.
Warner Bros. Games has announced Game of Thrones Dragonfire, a new free-to-play mobile strategy game set during the era of House of the Dragon, set to fly onto iPhones and Android devices later this year. Fans can now pre-register their interest for bonuses when the game does eventually land. There's also a CGI trailer featuring Emma Darcy's likeness, better known as Rhaenyra Targaryen, hatching dragon eggs and moving her forces around a map of 7 kingdoms. Game of Thrones Dragonfire introduces a fresh strategic approach to conquering the 7 kingdoms through tile-based warfare set during an era defined by the power of dragons. Read the blurb from the game's official website. Drawing inspiration from the events portrayed in House of the Dragon, players will experience a new narrative as Valyrian descendant, tasked with hatching and raising dragons, building and commanding armies, forming alliances and factions, and engaging in tactical battles to become the dominant force in Westeros. More detailed blogs reveal that the game will feature 8-week seasons known as reigns, each of which will feature campaigns and events. These can build to a major story beat, such as invading King's Landing, with the end result of a campaign strengthening your dragon's brood for future battles. While players won't get to play as their favorite Game of Thrones characters, the website does include character profiles for iconic characters from the show, confirming that they will at least appear in the game.
I know a couple people that will probably be really excited to hear about that. I might check it out. I personally don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah, but might check it out. After announcing that several game modes will be leaving Fortnite later this month, Epic revealed a new game mode releasing tomorrow, Fortnite Arena. Players will compete in lobbies of 16 solo players or 8 duo teams, where they will compete in a series of 1v1s or 2v2s. The first player to win 20 fights solo, or the first team to win 15 fights in duos, wins. The game mode will come with new quests which unlock a new back bling and spray. Last month, Epic laid off 1,000 employees and announced that several game modes, Fortnite Festival Battle Stage, Rocket Racing, and Ballistic, were leaving the game.
You know, it sucks to see a lot of game modes shut down on Fortnite, but I think that this new Arenas game mode is what people have been wanting. I mean, like, there's a lot of 1v1 knockoff games on Steam that we see, so I think that finally getting rid of some of the things that, let's be honest, no one really asked for, and giving people what they did ask for, maybe that'll be a good decision, hopefully, for Epic.
The only like pushback to it, I've seen people saying it's too similar to like creator-made things, but hopefully they're gonna add some like new stuff to it to compete with the Creator Islands.
Yeah, hopefully. The upcoming live-action Legend of Zelda movie is utilizing some of the same New Zealand landscapes and towns that were used to film the Lord of the Rings trilogy, leading fans to speculate what Hyrule will look like in the upcoming film. Fans are also speculating on whether or not Link will even speak in the film after recent comments by a former Zelda developer. Writing on X, Zelda Majora's Mask art director Takaya Imamura shared his concerns about hearing Link talk in the film, something he believes could ruin the magic for Nintendo's iconic series. The confirmed actors for the film so far are Benjamin Evans Ainsworth as Link and Bo Braxton, who will be playing Princess Zelda. I, for one, really hope that Link talks in the movie. I don't know how they're going to carry a 2-hour film if Link's not saying words throughout it, but
I understand the argument for against it, but I do think it would be really weird to have a movie where the main character doesn't speak. So I think they're definitely going to have him speak, maybe just not a lot. I think he just needs to be reserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would preserve it. Microsoft released a refresh for their Xbox achievement system today. Rare achievements will now get updated icons and animations. Achievement notifications will match players' custom color. Also, players can hide certain game achievements or highlight games they've 100%ed. Xbox achievements have remained relatively untouched since their 2005 introduction. So it's good to see Microsoft giving them some quality of life updates.
I think that the ability to hide achievements is really showing that the rumors about Xbox merging with PC are true. You know, there are a lot of games, straight up, like to be blunt, there are games on PC that can be very embarrassing. Like PC has a very wide array of games that aren't on console, so I feel like that is setting up the feature in the future for Xbox players to hide their library of games like that they choose to play when PC compatibility is added. So I think that's a good feature. Staying on Xbox, April is packed with new games coming to the Xbox Game Pass subscription. On Tuesday, Final Fantasy IV released on Game Pass, and today, DayZ, Endless Legend 2, and FBC Firebreak are available. Planet Coaster 2 and Tiny Bookshop are releasing later this week. Football Manager 26, Football Manager 26 Console Edition, Hades 2 Replaced, and the Thaumaturge, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, EA Sports NHL 26, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare are coming next week. And later in the month, Game Pass will see Little Rocket Lab, SOPA, The Tale of the Stolen Potato, Vampire Crawlers, and Kiln. I think the move to bring Modern Warfare back to Game Pass was a good one. That game has gotten a lot of momentum lately because of a Steam sale, but yeah. That's all for this week. I'm Christian Bursuch.
And I'm Marty Bratcher. The Denton Download will be back next Wednesday.